Now, we first started looking into Congresswoman Omar's life, and we were just trying to make sense of her anti-Semitism, which the left doesn't seem to have a problem with. Why does the left, by and large, and the media give her a pass? Okay, they hate the right, they think Donald Trump's horrible, sure, but there's more. A journey into the life of Omar uncovered a very strange history of the media giving a pass to multiple really suspicious stories that they would never in a million years look the other way for anyone else. CARE. Well, let me give you a quick refresher on who CARE actually is. This is the actual court case from the United States of America versus the Holy Land Foundation. They were officially designated a foreign terrorist organization. Yes. This is the official Hamas charter. Article 2 states, and if I may quote, the Islamic resistance movement, that's Hamas, is one of the wings of the Muslim Brotherhood in Palestine. The Muslim Brotherhood movement is a world organization, the largest Islamic movement in the modern era, end quote. Okay, so peace initiatives. The so-called peace solutions and all international conferences to resolve the Palestinian problem are all contrary to the beliefs of the Islamic resistance movement. Next page. There is no solution to the Palestinian problem except by jihad. Here in the United States, they put the Palestine Committee together. The Palestine Committee was broken up into three parts. The United Association for Studies and Research, that's a think tank. The Islamic Association of Palestine, that's in charge of propaganda. And the Holy Land Foundation, that's the fund. They were in charge of procuring and funneling money back to Hamas terrorists in Palestine. These three people are this. Okay, these three people came down here and they created the propaganda arm of CARE. I want you to remember this man's face. It's very important. It's absolutely indisputable. CARE is Hamas. Nihad Awad continues to lead CARE to this day. This is who Omar is fundraising for next week. Now, how is it nobody is interested in this? How come no one is pointing this out? The question that we have to ask ourselves, if all of that is true, which it is and verifiable, please do your own homework. Congresswoman Omar, is she ignorant of CARE's true identity, or is she a willing accomplice? Well, we have to go back to where she was born. She was born in Somalia, Mogadishu, in 1981. Then, because of this horrible civil war in Somalia, she had to leave. In 1992, she went to Kenya. In 1995, she was approved as a refugee, and she settled in Virginia and then quickly moved to Minnesota. In 2011, she graduated from the Humphrey School of Political Science and International Studies. The Humphrey School is a place that the CARE has their tentacles all over this Humphrey School of Public Affairs. So when Omar was at Humphrey, this was the type of conferences being held there. Islam in the West, with the goal of, quote, pursuing development and enhancing understanding between Muslims and Western worlds. Okay, not bad. This event was co-sponsored, of course, by the Minnesota chapter for the Council on American Islamic Relations. Remember, also known as Hamas, the propaganda arm. Do know this. She is now fundraising for CARE next week, and it has been reported on recently that she has been fundraising for them for years. This is a CARE Minnesota advertisement for a fundraiser back in 2017. One of the noted speakers was the then state representative, Ilhan Omar. But still, useful idiot, or is she a willing accomplice? Well, it's one thing to show up for a few events for CARE at her school or for some random fundraiser, but it's not like she actually worked for CARE, right? Well, let's take a quick peek at her resume, displayed full view on her own website. Look at the top. Under Community Leader, former advisory board member for Minnesota Council on American Islamic Relations. So we have a sitting member of Congress who raises money for and used to work with an organization with direct ties to the Muslim Brotherhood and Hamas, a U.S. designated terror group that the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, or AIPAC, was controlling U.S. foreign policy. The outcry from both the Republicans and the Democrats eventually had her retract that, but she seemingly has made going after AIPAC somewhat of her own personal jihad. Now, isn't it interesting that if you go to CARE and you look at their press releases, the main target of CARE is AIPAC. They attack almost nonstop. Now, I'd like to point out that AIPAC does spend a lot on lobbying, but they do not give a single dime directly to politicians. But CARE does. Now, if there was evidence that CARE was giving money to Congresswoman Omar, in light of her criticism of AIPAC, that would be a little embarrassing, wouldn't it? Oh, it is a little embarrassing, isn't it? But what they ended up passing was a blanket resolution condemning all hateful language. So in other words, yeah, what Omar said was bad and anti-Semitic, but we're not going to call her out by name, and instead we implore people just to talk nicely to each other in general. It was ridiculous. But how can the Democrats not be in agreement to chastise Omar and condemn anti-Semitism? Did some outside lobbying group known for propaganda pressure Democrats to leave Omar alone and water down the anti-Semitist talk? Well, here's a photo taken at the Capitol just before the House vote. The man standing next to Linda Sarsour is Nihad Awad, the same man that was the head of and founding member of CARE and directly identified by the FBI as one of the Palestinian Committee members supporting Hamas.
CARE is a terrorist organization. They are Hamas. I'm going to establish evidence tonight to show that and prove that point. COP is at the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, a big bridge. You don't have to be too sharp to notice this, but there's two people at the base of the bridge. A woman is in complete niqab, and they're taking pictures of the structure of the bridge. The state trooper goes, I don't know about this. So he goes to have a little talk with them. Turns out that El-Barassi, Mohammed El-Barassi is his name. There's a warrant for him out of Chicago, so they pull him in, and the FBI says, we want to take a look at this guy. They go into his house in Annandale, Virginia, 2004, not too long ago. And they go in his basement, start knocking around. FBI's tricky. They find a sub-basement in Annandale, Virginia, 2004. Go in a sub-basement. Over 10,000 documents. The Archives of the Muslim Brotherhood in the United States of America found 2004 in Annandale, Virginia. They became the basis for this suit against all these Muslim groups like CARE, which are terrorist organizations. I'll show you that. Listen what was found in the Muslim Brotherhood 18-page document. The project was 12 pages. I showed you 2 pages of 12. I'm showing you 1 paragraph of 18. The exact detailed plans for taking over the United States of America are in both documents. If you read that, you go, wow, these people are serious. And one was written in 82, one was written in 91. And you go, they've been doing this for 30 years. The process of settlement is a civilization jihadist process with all the word means. The Ikhwan, the Muslim Brotherhood, must understand that their work in America is a kind of grand jihad in eliminating peacefully and destroying peacefully the Western civilization from within and sabotaging its miserable house by their hands, your hands, and the hands of the believers, so that it is eliminated and God's religion, Islam, is made victorious over all religions. He was just awarded Chapter of the Year by Nihad Awad, a cultural terrorist, a terrorist supporter. He heads up CARE National. So Florida is the best CARE chapter in the country.
In maanta ay tahay maalintii ugu horeysay ay fursad u heleen inay arkaan qof iyaga oo kaleeta ah oo fursad u leh in uu madaxweyne u noqdo iyaga.
We know for a fact the terrorist group OLF has been receiving all kinds of support from Egypt. Its leaders have been feted. I mean, it used to be in Asmara, now they are feted in Cairo. And of course, they have been given all kinds of instructions to destabilize this country. And they have been bragging about their capacity to do so. And do so in a manner that is quite condescending, even to the very cause they say they are promoting. Because they are here, according to the Egyptians themselves, the Egyptians have been very vocal on this. They are here to make sure Ethiopia doesn't have the capacity to continue to build the Renaissance Dam.
Am I the reason get stoned every week now. Built up integrity, got you texting, emailing me, wanting me to feel with you. Baby, just face reality, move on. Sometimes it's hard to face reality.